Take a moment and breathe slowly. Something is changing behind the scenes, even if you cannot see it yet. If you have been feeling a strange emotional pull lately, this message may be reaching you at exactly the right time. If your thoughts keep returning to one particular person without any clear reason, if your intuition keeps telling you that something important is happening beneath the surface, then pay close attention. There is a reason this person's energy feels stronger around you lately. There is a reason their presence seems to linger in your mind, even during moments of silence. There is a reason the distance between you feels different than it once did. Something has been building quietly, and the emotional pressure is becoming impossible to ignore. The person connected to you has been trying to control their feelings for much longer than you realize. They have done their best to stay composed. They have tried to convince themselves that they could remain emotionally distant. They have told themselves that this connection could be ignored, delayed, or pushed aside until the feelings eventually disappeared. But that is not what happened. Instead of fading, the connection grew stronger. Every attempt they made to move away from these emotions only pulled them deeper into them. Every effort to create distance somehow increased their awareness of you. What they once believed was a simple attraction slowly became something much more powerful. You remained in their thoughts during quiet moments. You appeared in their memories without warning. You crossed their mind during ordinary routines and unexpected situations. Even when they tried to focus on other things, something always seemed to bring them back to you. That is why they are struggling now. Some connections enter a person's life and leave little impact. Other connections change everything. This connection has changed them. You were never meant to become forgettable to this person. No matter how hard they tried to act unaffected, your presence left a lasting mark on their heart. On the outside, they may appear calm. They may act as though everything is normal. They may continue with their daily life and pretend that nothing unusual is happening. They may even convince other people that they are completely fine. But inside, a very different story has been unfolding. Behind every moment of hesitation, every delayed response, every period of distance, and every confusing shift in behavior, there has been a private emotional battle taking place. The truth is that they have realized something that deeply unsettles them. What they feel for you is no longer ordinary. It is no longer a passing interest. It is no longer simple curiosity. It is no longer something they can easily explain away. They have discovered that what they feel with you cannot be recreated somewhere else. That realization has forced them to confront emotions they were not prepared to face. When people encounter a connection they cannot logically explain, they often do not move toward it immediately. They resist it. The reason is simple. Real connection creates change. To fully accept what they feel for you, they would have to become honest with themselves. They would have to stop hiding from their emotions. They would have to stop pretending that this bond does not affect them. They would have to release fears that have been controlling them for a long time. That process is not easy. Part of them has been afraid of what happens next. Afraid that stepping closer to you will change their life forever. Afraid that admitting the truth will force them to leave behind the version of themselves they have known for years. Afraid that once they accept what you truly mean to them, there will be no way to return to emotional distance. But something important is happening now. The balance is beginning to shift. The fear that once controlled them is no longer as strong as it used to be. Their desire to be honest is growing stronger every day. And when that happens, everything starts to change. Eventually, the heart becomes tired of running. Eventually, pretending becomes exhausting. Eventually, silence becomes heavier than speaking. Eventually, distance stops feeling like protection and starts feeling like loss. That is exactly where they are now. You may have already noticed signs of this change. Perhaps their energy feels different lately. Perhaps memories of them seem to appear more often. Perhaps reminders of them keep showing up at unexpected moments. Perhaps your intuition keeps telling you that something significant is approaching. These things are happening because emotional movement is building beneath the surface. What has been hidden for so long is becoming harder to contain. The longing is growing stronger. The emotional pressure is increasing. The awareness of what they could lose is becoming impossible to ignore. They are beginning to understand that losing you would hurt far more than risking vulnerability. That realization changes everything. Once a person reaches that point, emotional control starts slipping away. Not because they are weak, not because they are confused, but because the truth has become stronger than the walls they built around it. You may believe they are calm, they are not. You may believe they have forgotten you, they have not. You may believe they have moved on completely. Look closer. People who feel nothing do not struggle this hard. People who are unaffected do not think about someone repeatedly. People who are emotionally detached do not carry memories this deeply. What is happening here is not a loss of interest. It is a loss of emotional resistance. And when resistance begins to break, movement follows. Sometimes that movement arrives as a message. Sometimes it arrives as a conversation. Sometimes it arrives as an unexpected attempt to reconnect. Whatever form it takes, it comes from a place that has been building inside them for a very long time. That is why your intuition keeps telling you something is coming. Because on a deeper level, you can already feel the shift. The chapter between you is changing. The emotional pressure they have been carrying is becoming too great to ignore. And this may only be the beginning. You were not the first person to enter their life, but you were the one who changed something deep inside them. You awakened emotional honesty where there had once been avoidance. You awakened longing where there had once been indifference. You awakened vulnerability where there had once been protection. You awakened reflection where there had once been distraction. And perhaps most powerful of all, you awakened hope. You awakened hope that a real connection truly exists. Hope that emotional depth is possible. Hope that love can feel genuine instead of forced. Hope that relationships can carry meaning instead of simply following routines. That realization has shaken them more than they expected. Many people spend years disconnected from their own emotions without even realizing it. They build routines around themselves. They create distractions. They develop emotional survival habits. They learn how to avoid vulnerability. They learn how to avoid needing anyone too deeply. Then someone enters their life and quietly changes everything. One person arrives and naturally moves past all the defenses they spent years building. Suddenly, the emotional walls that once felt strong no longer feel secure. The protection that once felt necessary no longer feels effective. That is what happened when they met you. You moved beyond the emotional armor they spent years creating. Not through pressure, not through manipulation, not through force. You did it simply by being yourself. Your authenticity reached parts of them that other people never touched. Your presence awakened emotions they thought they had under control. Your energy stirred something inside them that could not easily be ignored. And now, they can no longer return to the emotional numbness they once accepted as normal. That is why their resistance became so strong. Resistance was the only strategy they knew. It was the only way they understood how to maintain control over feelings that suddenly seemed larger than anything they expected. But there is something important about genuine emotional recognition. Once the heart recognizes something meaningful, denial becomes exhausting. And your soulmate is becoming emotionally exhausted. They are tired of pretending, tired of suppressing emotions, tired of acting unaffected, tired of carrying feelings they can no longer explain away with logic. That is why their inner world has felt so chaotic recently. Part of them wants to move toward you immediately. Part of them still fears vulnerability. Part of them wants certainty before taking a risk. And another part already understands that certainty will never arrive through distance and silence. That conflict has become heavier with every passing day. The longer someone suppresses emotional truth, the louder that truth becomes inside them. That is why thoughts of you keep appearing unexpectedly. That is why memories connected to you remain alive instead of fading. That is why ordinary moments suddenly remind them of you. That is why they continue feeling emotionally drawn toward you, even when they try to focus elsewhere. This connection has become deeply woven into their emotional world. And deep down, they know it. That awareness is what is changing everything now. This is not fantasy. This is not temporary attraction. This is recognition. It is the recognition that your soul touched theirs in a way that life rarely offers twice. That realization has humbled them, because they are beginning to understand something painful. They almost convince themselves to walk away from something real. Many people do not recognize the value of emotional truth until they are faced with the possibility of losing it. That possibility is now following your soulmate everywhere. They think about the possibility that you may eventually stop waiting. They think about the possibility that another person may receive the love and emotional depth they were afraid to accept. They think about the possibility that they may become only a memory in your life while you continue growing and moving forward. Those thoughts affect them more deeply than they would ever admit, because beneath all the hesitation and uncertainty lives one undeniable truth. They do not want to lose you. Not emotionally, not permanently. And that fear is becoming stronger than the defenses they once relied upon. That is why they have been paying closer attention lately. They have been observing your energy, watching your reactions, trying to understand whether your heart still holds space for them. Because once someone realizes what they truly feel, uncertainty becomes frightening, especially when they know they helped create the distance themselves. Your soulmate understands that now. They understand that their silence created consequences. They understand that their hesitation created emotional distance. They understand that fear delayed something meaningful. And now they are wondering whether that distance can still be repaired. That emotional urgency continues growing stronger every day. That is why their next move may arrive sooner than expected. Not because every fear has disappeared, not because every question has been answered, but because avoiding this connection has become emotionally impossible. And there is something important for you to understand as well. Their return is not only about desire, it is about awakening. They are awakening to what this connection truly means. They are awakening to how deeply you affected them. They are awakening to how empty life can feel when emotional truth is missing. And awakened hearts rarely remain silent forever, especially when they realize the person they love may eventually move forward without them. That possibility creates movement. It pushes people toward honesty. It pushes people toward confession. It pushes people toward action. It pushes people toward risk. Your soulmate is approaching that point now. They are reaching the moment where vulnerability finally feels less painful than regret. And when someone reaches that point, everything begins to change. They stop resisting. They stop hiding. They stop running from what they know is true. And slowly, step by step, they begin moving toward the person who changed them forever. They begin moving toward you.